Hello everyone, myself Mrs. Pratibha Sonone, faculty from Shri Jain Vidya Prasarak Mandals, Rasiklal M. Dhariwal College of Pharmacy, Chinchwad, Pune. Today we are going to discuss about the sterile manufacturing, which is one of the chapter from hospital and clinical pharmacy subject for the second year D pharmacy students. Learning outcomes. After watching this video, you will be able to understand introduction, difference between large volume parentals and small volume parentals, advantages and disadvantages of the parental products, and layout of sterile product area. Introduction. The sterile products are those dosage forms which are free from microorganisms. This includes parental, ophthalmic, and irrigating fluids. The parental products are directly injected into the body. The infection could be from living microorganisms and also from microbial products such as toxins and pyrogens. Therefore, to direct their manufacturing by special technique is called as aseptic techniques to make them sterile. The parental product word is prepared or derived from a Greek word known as para, means besides or outside, and enteron means gastrointestinal tract. So parental products, these are the products which are used outside the gastrointestinal tract. Parental products, they are divided into two groups, large volume parentals and small volume parentals. Let us discuss the difference between large volume parentals and small volume parentals. Large volume parentals, the pack size or the volume is normally 100 or more, whereas small volume parentals are 1 to 99 ml. For large volume parentals, generally plastic bottles are used, whereas small volume parentals, glass and amber colored ampoules and vials are used. The vehicle used for large volume parental is water for injection, and in case of small volume parentals, water for injection or oils like propylene glycol 400 and 600 is normally used. In large volume parentals, there are no added substances, but in small volume parentals, preservatives, antioxidants, and antimicrobials are used. Large volume parental products, they are terminally sterilized, and the small volume parentals are generally aseptic filled products. Large volume parentals are administered with IV sets, whereas small volume parentals, they are given or administered with syringes and needles. LVPs are clinically as supportive measures or nutrients, whereas small volume parentals are diagnostic or therapeutic use. Large volume parentals are sterile and pyrogen-free injectable products that are packaged in the volumes more than 100 ml up to 1 liter. Whereas small volume parentals, they are sterile, pyrogen-free and injectable products that are packaged in volumes up to 100 ml. Large volume parentals are administered by intra or extravascular routes depending upon the compositions, whereas small volume parentals, aqueous solutions can be administered only by IV route because of local irritation. Large volume parentals are packed in large containers such as plastic and glass containers of 1 liter capacity, whereas small volume parentals are usually packed in vials, ampoules of the small sizes. Large volume parentals includes saline solutions, dextrose solution, Ringer's solution, peritoneal dialysate, irrigating solutions, diagnostic agents, and blood collecting unit with the anticoagulants. Whereas small volume parentals include drugs in suspension, emulsion, freeze-dried products, or powder for constitution. The other products include biological and diagnostic agents, allergenic extracts, radiopharmaceuticals, dental products, liposomes and lipids, etc. So these are the basic differences between small volume parenterals and large volume parenterals. Let us discuss the advantages of the parenteral products. Parenteral products, they are injected through the skin or mucous membranes into the internal body compartments. Parenterals are useful for patients who cannot take drug orally and in emergency situations. Drugs may be injected into the specialized area of the body including joints, joint fluid area, spinal column, spinal fluid, arteries and in emergency even in the heart, that is intracardiac. Parenteral possesses better and faster onset of action and bioavailability than other dosage forms, as these parenteral products directly injected into the bloodstream. For example, biological products, vaccines, toxoids, and antitoxins. They are useful for the drugs that are inactivated in the GIT or susceptible to the first pass effect in liver. Sterile parenteral products could be administered even as solid pellets, tablets for tissue implantation and useful for providing sustained drug delivery system. Parenterals are better for administration of special categories of the drugs like anti-cancer, immunosuppressant, hormones, peptides, radiopaque and diagnostic agents. They are also useful for delivering the fluids, electrolytes, nutrients to the patient. So these are the overall advantages of the parenteral products. Let us now discuss with the disadvantages of the parenterals. As parenteral products need to be sterile, aseptic techniques should be used and specialized areas should be used for the sterilization of these products. So these products, they are more expensive and costly to produce as compared to the other formulations. Second disadvantage is that risk of needle stick injuries and exposure to the blood-borne pathogens by the healthcare workers may be there. Disposal of needles and syringes and other infusion devices requires special consideration, as the needles and syringes which are used for the one patient should not be used to the another patient. So disposal of these needles and syringes infusion devices is very much important part of the parenteral preparations. Improper injection procedures could cause damage to the patient's nerves, tissues, veins and other blood vessels. If the person who is administering these parenteral products, they are not experienced one, that time there may be chances of improper injection procedures to the patient, which may lead to the injuries to the patient. The presence of traces of physical, chemical contaminants may cause irritation to the body tissues and also leads to degradation of the product due to chemical change when thermal sterilization is employed. So these are the disadvantages of the parenteral products. Let us discuss layout of sterile product area. In this area, you can see the compounding area, cleanup area, aseptic area, sterilization area, quarantine area, packaging and labeling area, and storage, transport and stock room area. A person can move from stock room to the compounding area, to the aseptic area and to the quarantine area. And from stock room, a person can move from cleanup area to the sterilization area. Compounding area, aseptic area and sterilization area, they are interrelated so that person can move from one place to the another. From packaging and labeling area, person can move for the transport and the storage department. Let us discuss this layout. Cleanup area. In such area, cleaning and steaming of the packaging materials and utensils is done. Therefore, the walls and ceiling are constructed in such a way that they withstand the effects of the steams and the chemicals. Generally, epoxy or vinyl paint is coated to solve this purpose. This area must be kept clean by washing it regularly. Precautions must be taken to prevent the growth of microorganisms and collection of the dust. Second area is compounding area, very important part of the sterile products. It is nothing but a preparation area where the formula is compounded and not necessarily aseptic one. There should be strict control that these should not catch the dust. The cabinets and counters should be of stainless steel. Ceiling, wall and floor should be sealed and can be coated with the epoxy paint. So there should not be any accumulation of the dust on the ceiling and the floor. Adequate sink and counter space should be provided to this compounding area. Aseptic area. It is an entirely sealed area from outside atmosphere to keep aseptic environment free from physical and biological contamination. The person who is moving from one place to the aseptic area should not carry any microorganism on their body. So, physical contamination should be avoided. Therefore, at the time of designing and constructing the aseptic area, civil work can compose two HVAC systems, that is high ventilating and air conditioning system, including the electrical wire fittings and switches. The walls facing outside should have double wall glass partition. The material used should be protect the wall, flooring and ceiling from material handling and routine SOPs of equipments and chemicals which are used for fumigation of the aseptic area. Epoxy paint should be used to prevent the wall, ceiling and floor from the accumulation of the microorganism. The personnel working in such area must follow the guidelines and standards of behavior in aseptic area according to GMP, that is Goods Manufacturing Practices. The personnel enter in this area through airlock door and movement should be minimum and restricted during filling procedures. Another area is quarantine area. This is a area where approved batches from the quality control department can be kept and before labeling and packing. It must contain space that separates the approved batches and in-process batches. This area is only restricted to a person who is responsible for the quarantine area. Another area is labeling and packing area. Adequate space is required for installation of printing devices and packaging machines. In this area, labeling, packaging and printing can take place. And last area is storage and its disposal area. In this area, the finished products are stored under specified storage conditions and dispensed of. I hope all of you have understood what are sterile products and what are the advantages, disadvantages and layout of the sterile product area. Thank you.